Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, call Halayim Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the Akim that are pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in all truth and sincerity. All right, Lord willing, this reaches the ears of the hopeful elect. All right, so, through the Spirit, as you can see, the title of this lesson, all right, something along the lines of, Title 42, GPS trackers, and the awakening of the Northern Kingdom. Okay, and before I start reading this article, I had just a couple nights ago, I had a vision of pretty much Northern Kingdom, waking up. I witnessed in my dream a whole bunch of Northern Kingdom brothers bringing out this word, okay, bringing out the truth, okay. In the span of a couple blocks, I had seen a couple handful of Northern Kingdom Israelites preaching the word, okay. And Title 42, all right, the fact that it's expiring, okay, there's an influx of Northern Kingdom coming into the United States, all right, and primarily you see a whole bunch of Southern Kingdom, on the highways and byways, throughout all various camps, okay. But we could very well anticipate we're seeing more Northern Kingdom out there pushing the word, okay, and just waking up to this truth, okay. But Title 42 all kind of ties into that, man. The expiration of Title 42, all right, which is the pretty much them opening up the borders to Mexico, okay. But a lot of people now, there's twofold to this story, man, because there's a lot of wicked Northern Kingdom, okay. Not only that, but you got Moabites, okay, getting shipped down in there, that are walking up to the borders, okay. You got a lot of Hamites, okay. You got a lot of Jake that's like from Haiti, either Benjamin or Levi, Levi coming up to where there's a lot of wickedness and a lot of crime, okay. So there's going to be an awakening of the Israelites, but then there's also going to bring a lot of judgment. It's going to bring a lot of judgment to the Hebrew Israelites, man, okay. Not only that, it's an invasion, all right. So it's an accumulative of events, all right, taking place with just that one that one factor, the Title 42 expiration, which was set by the Trump administration, okay, to prevent, pretty much blocking off the borders to prevent anybody coming in and out carrying potential diseases or pestilence, or whatever the case is, all right. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this article from CBS News. It says the news program will require asylum seeking families to undergo home curfews, GPS tracking, okay. It says El Paso, Texas, a new Biden administration policy will require migrant families seeking asylum to undergo home curfews and GPS tracking while officials determine whether they should be able to stay in the country or be deported, Immigration and Customs Enforcement announced on Wednesday, okay. Because, so as you can see there, that GPS tracking, okay, is what, man? It's they're trying to confine you to a certain radius, okay. Especially these migrants that are coming over, okay. And essentially they just want to be able to track your every move, all right. They want to track your move, they want to track your finances, they want to track your spending habits, they want to control your mind, they want to control everything, man, okay. these people have a godlike complex. All right, you know, and it says in verse or Salakia, not verse, and you know what, let me get that verse, let me get that, since I'm already thinking about it. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 17. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. How is a man not going to be able to go into another city? Okay, first they're going to have checkpoints, okay, but they're also, you know, I believe through the Spirit that they're going to have actual you know, GPS tracking or sensors, GPS sensors. All right, you know, and as far as like these migrants that are coming over, okay, they all have to be tracked. Okay, which in other words, if you think about it, usually all along the coast, the borders of Mexico, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, usually within the 5 to 10 mile radius or 10 mile range from the border, there's usually a lot of Northern Kingdom Jake, okay, you know, but it's a lot of poverty, okay, it's a lot of poor people, okay, a lot of poor, you know, lower income homes, okay, you know, more crime. It's, you know, essentially it you know, happens in those areas, okay. So what they're trying to do, you know, eventually it's going to get to a point where these high crime areas, they're gonna have little pockets, okay, little pockets, and if your house is within a certain zone, okay, you're not going to be able to leave out of that, you know, if you're being tracked, okay. But the Lord may have it, he may very well have it to where, you know, obviously those who don't get tracked, you know, who don't get the, you know, the GPS, okay, or that charagma, all right, you know, we'll be able to freely move about, okay, and the Lord is gonna guide us, okay, and get us around these little zones and these little pockets, you know, and essentially just deliver us, man. All right. It says, verse 18, for because their pride, the cities shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread, and for great tribulation. Okay, so that's essentially what it's going to lead up to. All right, you know, they need, in order to establish some kind of order, there has to be chaos. Okay, homelessness is already, you know, especially here in California, homelessness is at an all-time high. Okay, and now we're bringing migrants who don't have, you know, money. Okay, they don't have finance, they don't have a home. All right, you know, they can't even provide housing for the homeless that's already here. So what do you think is going to do for these hundreds and thousands of migrants that are coming across the border? Where they gonna stay? Okay, they gonna be out there on the streets. Okay, you think what's that one place in LA, Skid Row? Okay, what's about to happen? It's not going, Skid Row ain't it's not gonna be able to touch what we're about to witness. Okay, you see, a lot of drugs. Okay, you know, a lot of murders, a lot of death. Okay, rapes, whatever the case is, all that comes with that, with being in that environment. You see, and let something happen. Let the grid go down. Let these storehouses and these grocery stores be completely empty. Okay, then it's going to get to this point. He says, behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and from Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Yep. You know, so that was pretty much that on that. But let me go back to this article says the program known as Family Expedited Removal Management Process will require some migrant adults who cross the U.S.-Mexico border unlawfully with minor children to wear GPS ankle monitors to comply with a curfew. All right, same situation what they did with the C-19 situation. All right, it says the initiative will apply to migrant families who claim fear of returning to their home countries after being placed in a fast-track deportation process known as expedited removal. Okay, and there is a lot of crime in those a lot of various places in Mexico. Okay, you got the cartel, you got the Zeta, you got all these different cartels that are, you know, that have territory within Mexico. Not only that, but people coming in from Venezuela, you know, Colombia, Panama, you know, so on and so forth. It's a lot of crime in those Central American countries, man. It's a lot of wickedness in Northern Kingdom, in Northern Kingdom Jake down there, man. Okay. It says officials said the policy is designed to allow ICE to monitor migrant families and to locate them if asylum officers find that they are not eligible for U.S. protection without having to hold them in detention centers, a controversial practice the Biden administration has declined to revive. It says if families fail their interviews with U.S. asylum officers, ICE would move to deport them within 30 days of placement in expedited removal proceedings. Officials said Wednesday those deported under expedited removal receive a 5-year banishment and could face criminal prosecution if they attempt to re-enter the United States. Okay, now that's all fluff, man. Okay, because that's not what's going to happen, man. This is just what's broadcasted on mainstream media, man. This is just what they're telling people to give them a sense of a comfort. Okay, hey, if these people come into our country and they start, you know, getting wild and reckless or whatever, you know, hey, they're gonna take them back to their country. No, that's not gonna happen. Okay, these people, when they come across this border, they're here to stay. All right. It says the program is part of a larger Biden administration effort to deter migrants from crossing into the United States illegally, as pandemic era restrictions on migration known as Title 42 are discontinued this week. It says while the Biden administration's strategy to deter illegal crossings include a significant expansion of opportunities for migrants to enter the country with legal permission, including through a phone app, it is also expected to heavily rely on increased deportation and sweeping restriction on asylum. So you got a lot of people that are seeking asylum, okay, and they're requiring these individuals to be able to set up an appointment through a mobile app, okay, using their phones. All right. But these people that are trying to come across, for one, they've been on foot for who knows how long. Okay, cell phone reception, probably little to none. All right, let alone the battery life of that cell phone. These people don't have access to this mobile app, okay, to be able to seek asylum and to schedule an appointment to cross the border, man. These people are, and this is all fluff, man. This is all BS and baloney, man. They just willingly just letting these migrants in, okay. And, you know, at the end of the day, man, this is all the will of the Lord, man. Okay, they can't do anything against the truth, but for the truth, man. So the fact that a lot of these Northern Kingdom Jake are coming across the border, all right, into Texas, New Mexico, you know, California, Arizona, whatever, all right. It's either one of two things, okay, either to be awakened, to be awakened to this truth and to who they are. Okay, and to receive salvation, or to be punished, man. Okay, 1 Peter 4:17 says the judgment of the Lord, you know, will start at the house of the house of Israel, man. Let me just get that real quick. All right, this is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. For if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? You see, so judgment is going to come to the house of us first, the house of the Lord first. Okay, so you can expect a lot of Jake that are coming through to get judged as well, man. All right, because it's going to be the place of mass destruction. All right, so one or two things: you're gonna hit with these nukes, okay, or you're gonna get beamed up out of here, man. Okay, and get delivered. It says the restriction published Wednesday will disqualify migrants who enter the country without permission for asylum and who do not first ask for protection in the third country like Mexico on their way to the U.S. border. The policy, which resembles a Trump-era rule, is expected to be challenged in court by migrant, advocates. Okay, but you kind of get the point there. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 10. It says, the city of confusion is broken down. This place is being broken down, man. This system, okay, everything, every law, every amendment, every bill, executive order, all this stuff is being broken down, man. Okay, you got these devils going back on their word, on everything that they stood for. You see, but the city of confusion, all right, which is Babylon the Great, is being broken down as we speak. It says every house is shut up that no man may come in. Okay, so no man, all right, it's right now these borders is open. Okay, they're open right now, but it's gonna come a point where they're gonna pretty much shut it back off, man, and not be able to come in. All right, they're not gonna be able to. You see, because they're gonna start shutting down these little cities. All right, like I said earlier, having little zones and little pockets of where they're gonna have checkpoints. People ain't gonna be able to go nowhere, man. Okay. It says the 10th part of the 10th part of it shall be destroyed. It's talking about the 10 FEMA zones that are spread throughout Babylon. Okay, this place is going to be burnt up, man. This place is going to be destroyed eventually. All right, but before that all happens, man, chaos has to take place. Okay, they have to implement and have to make mandatory the GPS tracker, which is going to go into people's right hand or in their head, man. All right. This is the book of Isaiah 14:4. I'll start at verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrows and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Okay, because for so long, leading up to these points, man, we've been out here slaving, working for Esau, busting our ass day in and day out, just to try to make ends meet, to be able to, put food on the table, have a roof over our head, so on and so forth, working long hours, making bare minimum. Okay, the list goes on. But it's going to come a point when all this stops, when all this ceases. Okay, everybody's going to be on the same playing field, man. Okay, then we'll be able to rest in a sense of not having to go to the plantation, not having to worry about having to pay bills and do all these other things, man. Okay, it's not going. There's going to be no time for that, man. It's not going to be no time. Verse 4 says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased. All right, and this place here, Babylon, is the golden city. All right, and everything's going to come to a complete halt, man, a complete stop. Okay, the economy, okay, the wealth, how now it's circulating. Okay, people go to work. Okay, people make money. You go to the stores, you go to these establishments, you spend the money, you keep the money, flowing, so to speak. Okay, but soon enough, all right, all that is about to stop. It talks about that in the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, let me get that real quick. Salakia, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And who's that and those that look out of the window will be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding gets low. He shall rise up at a voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. You see, the grinders shall cease. Okay, the sound of the grinding is low. The sound of the cars running, moving, Okay, people working, you driving downtown, you hear the hustle and bustle, the city noise, all that's going to stop, man. All right. Isaiah 14:4 again, it says that thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Okay, that staff is symbolic to that strength. Okay, the Lord had broken the strength of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, man. Okay, these princes and these powers, these kings, all right, they no longer have the power anymore, man. The Lord he had given them the power for a brief moment, okay, but the Lord is stripping that power away from him. Okay, the Lord is stripping the power away from these devils, man, and these other nations, these other kingdoms are witnessing that. Okay, and they see a gap, they see weakness. Okay, and that's where they're going to come after, man. They're going to come after that weak spot. Yep, it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, talking about, you know, the enemies coming up against the Jake, you know, Israelites. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Okay, so when all things stop, when everything comes to naught, man, we're going to be singing, man. We're going to be rejoicing and praising Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, because this thing is finally over, man. You know, and we're just going to be that much closer to getting delivered, Lord willing. Okay, so that was pretty much it. So, hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. With that, I want to give our honor, praise, and infinite glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessing, and salutation to the Akim that are pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in all truth and sincerity. All right, Lord willing, this reaches the ears of the whole full elect. And until next time, Shalom.